Dr. Sanjay Baru rightly pointed out that, India-Japan relations doesn't have to be defined against something, that it has a value, it has a history, it has a tradition of its own, and I think that's a point which should be noted, particularly for those today who tend to take a more binary view to international relations. But the fact is that contemporary politics is a driver. And when I speak about, how Abe stepped out into the world and tried to engage India with a certain purpose, I am convinced, and I say this to some degree out of, personal conversations with him, Abe was actually a person who foresaw a world beyond alliances. That he, much more than perhaps any alliance or a G7 politician of that era, that he could actually think, because, sometimes in India we tend to overstate or, slide into a certain, you could say, nostalgia or force a certain understanding. Japan is a country whose security and prosperity is secured by its alliance relationship. So that is the bedrock on which Japanese policies are based. The genius of Abe was to understand that, and yet beyond that, actually to look for options, explore possibilities. So, in a sense, when I speak about a world beyond alliances, it is not a world rejecting alliances or a world without alliances. It is a world where alliances coexist with other relationships. It is a far more loosely structured, I would say, less legalistically committed, much more multipolar world. And I'll come to that point a little later. So the point I wish to make was that if one looked 20 odd years ago at anybody in the academic world, in the political world, in the thinking world, Abe stood out as the person who actually got this right and who got this the earliest. And therein actually lay the importance of the proposal that he made to create a Quad. And again, if you see the Quad idea and his vision, the confluence of two seas that Sanjay spoke about, the perception of the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean as a seamless theater goes side by side with this beyond alliance thinking. Because the fact is, the sharp compartmentalization between the Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean happened in a world of super alliances. It was a post-1945 very sharp divide, when the United States actually, because of its own architecturing of the world, took a particular theater of primacy, which for it was the Pacific, and in a sense distanced it from other contiguous regions. And in that sense, by proposing an Indo-Pacific, by suggesting a Quad, by getting both sides, East Asia thinking about South Asia, South Asia thinking about East Asia, Abe was really in many ways a very, very imaginative, not just a politician, not even a leader, I would say he was a very imaginative strategist.